The Garage RCR Civic started its life as a humble 1992 Honda Civic EX hatchback, a reliable, economical hatchback that was popular among commuters and tuners alike. But then it fell into the hands of a madman named Ryan Christopher Riviera, who decided to turn it into a time attack monster. He ended up stripping the EG Civic of its original engine and replaced it with a turbocharged K20 from an Acura RSX, which produces over 400 horsepower and 300 foot-pounds of torque, and that's before we get messing with it in Gran Turismo. He also fitted the vehicle with a sequential rally-style gearbox and a custom exhaust system, roll cage, and fuel cell. After that, the car had bodywork done in the form of a Rocket Bunny body kit, which included the massive fender flares and a massive front splitter along with a towering rear wing, giving this car a lot of downforce. He also installed a set of Volk Racing TE37 wheels wrapped in sticky Toyo tires and upgraded the braking and suspension system. All of this work resulted in the car looking like a true race car, and it drives like one too. It has incredible acceleration, cornering, and braking abilities and can lap the track faster than most supercars. It's also loud, aggressive, and uncompromising. It's very effectively shed its sensible origins and is now more tuned for thrill seekers and speed freaks. The Garage RCR Civic was so impressive that it ended up winning the Gran Turismo award at the 2017 SEMA show, which is how it got the developers' attention and how it ended up in the game. Let's go ahead and take it to Tokyo and see how it handles our lap. The Garage RCR Civic, fully built with a medium turbo, ends up with 575 horsepower, which is a lot for a front-wheel drive car, and the torque ends up at 486 foot-pounds, so it gets out of the hole really well as long as you have the grip to support it. It ends up with 704 performance points, but swapping to medium compound tires will get you into any of the 700 series races, or something I like to do is swapping the manual transmission. That way I get to use the clutch as well. The weight distribution on the car is spread at 67% to the front and 33% to the rear. With that being combined with the power of the front wheel drive, the tire wear is pretty aggressive at 20% to the front and 0% to the rear, but you're going to end up running out of those front tires pretty quickly. This car, being built for time attack, was also never meant for a long range vehicle. So even though it's a Civic, it's equipped with a small fuel cell, and we were only able to get 3 laps out of our fuel tank with the current settings. If you do plan to use this car at Le Mans, for example, you'll want to adjust the fuel map accordingly. Now, even though this car isn't necessary for any collection, it's a car that's great to drive. It floats into the corners, and as long as you're not too aggressive with the throttle, it'll get out of the corners pretty well as well. And then when you do break the car loose, it's pretty forgiving and you can get back in control of it just by letting off the throttle. Now, the car doesn't drive as well as the new Type Rs, but I would definitely recommend this for any front-wheel drive purists, just because it does give you some of that characteristic that you're accustomed to with a front-wheel drive vehicle. It's also a great car for anyone that's just starting out in racing, because it is a very forgiving vehicle. We ended up crossing the line at 2 minutes 4 seconds .208. That puts it right behind the Cobra Daytona Coupe and just in front of the GR Yaris, which is a modern all-wheel drive vehicle. So pretty impressive for a vehicle that's just front-wheel drive. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and please like and subscribe for future content. As always, we'll have the tune here in just a moment. I left this one alone for the most part because I'm not as familiar with front-wheel drive vehicles.